Welcome to Trading in a Zen. Today, we'll be talking to our friend Richard Friesen again. And hello, Richard. Hello,
Hello.
Louise. Hello.
Hello.
And the subject of our discussion today is repeated behavior. Why do we continue to do things that no longer serve us and what we can do about it? Louise and I will be honest and forthcoming in taking an assessment. And we're going to get to the bottom what makes us tick and do the crap that we no longer want to do, but keep on doing it. So, Richard, take it away. I'm ready to be fixed.
Well, I'm ready to be fixed. Well, what I hear is you're ready to expand your awareness and take responsibility. And that path in and of itself is a tremendous model for everyone who's listening to this. And I just want to commend you for your willingness to step into this void, this unknown, because trading is about stepping into a whole bunch of unknowns. And to do it here and to model it for others is just a wonderful service. So I'd like to start by reading a quote from someone who just made an appointment with me, brand new person, never met them. And they said, what's the agenda for the meeting? And I quote here, I'm going to move this over. And the quote is, self-sabotage and limiting beliefs. I keep taking catastrophic losses every once in a while, and it is insane that I can't change my behavior. I've read 100+ books and courses, but something unconscious, just loss avoidance. I'm aware of the stupid things I'm going to do, and I still do it. I swear I'll never do it again, and with a month or two, I do it again. I'm stuck in this cycle and can't get out. This is the summation of one form or another of many of the clients that come to me. And so that's why I developed this assessment. So can we start to see what are the underlying drivers? Because we can say, be more disciplined, use more willpower.
This reminds me of when you drink too much and you say you'll never do it again.
Yes.
In a minute you feel better. You're like, what was I saying? I'm fine.
Right. I'm fine. I can do this again. Or for me, it's with my wife's apple pie. Oh, I'll never eat 3 pieces again.
For me, it's actually with trading. So I'm right with you.
Okay.
Right with you.
And we will provide the link to the assessment in the notes. And so that everyone can join in and do the assessment when they're ready to view this. So you can do it along with us. So it takes courage to change your trading results without changing the trading behaviors that are producing the results you don't want. So this is the first step in expanding our awareness and stepping into a whole context of beliefs and identity and behaviors that just serve us so much better. And the next part is openness and awareness. So this is to ask some basic questions or where you are with that. So the responses are strongly disagree, mildly agree, and strongly agree. So the first question is, I sometimes wonder what I did during the trading day. In other words, it's like the guy says, why did I do that? I wonder why I did what I did. So strongly disagree all the way to strongly agree. When trading doesn't go right, my frustration builds and builds. When I make an impulse or other non-strategy trade, I'm aware that this is an impulse when I am making it. I know why and how I repeat the same trading mistakes over and over. I can easily become aware of my physical sensations, my feelings, and thoughts. So when you've completed that section, let me know.
Yeah, all done.
Okay, great, wonderful. Okay, next we're going to go on to behaviors and change. So again, we'll go from strongly disagree all the way up to strongly agree. I tend to repeat the same trading behaviors, even if they don't produce the results I want. I prefer known routines in my life that feel safe. The thought of creating new trading behaviors and responses feels uncomfortable. My friends and family might describe me as a bit stubborn.
Strongly agree.
Yeah.
Not
I feel helpless as my current trading struggles seem unchanged. So let me know when you're done with that section.
Yeah.
Okay. Again, strongly disagree to strongly agree. And this section is on our trading. This section is important because we're looking for your execution clarity. Okay, first, I have a clear trading decision process. I know when I've made a trade that is from impulse or from my decision process. I often fail to execute my trading process or plan. In the moment of a trade, I have doubts and reasons to be fearful. I execute all my setups with ease and flow. So let me know when you're done with that section. Okay.
Yeah.
The next section is mastermind and routines. And this section is going to focus on the state of mind that we bring to trading. Again, from strongly disagree all the way up to strongly agree. I have a checklist in writing or in my mind of the routines that create peak performance. I have a pre-trade routine that reduces negative feelings and thoughts. I only trade if I have completed my trading routine. I know what I need in terms of my physical body, in terms of rest, nourishment, and exercise to perform at my peak. I can tell the difference when I am trading from reactions and impulse and when I am in my master trading state of being. Okay? Excellent. You guys are fast.
Know thyself.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Wise
Next,
words.
measuring what matters. I mean, in trading, there's so much noise. There's so much information. There's so many trading indicators and setups. And people you can go online and ask about trading methods, and you'll get hundreds of contradictory methods. So the question is, do we know what really matters, and are we measuring it? So here's the first question, again, from strongly disagree to strongly agree. I monitor or record my physical sensations, my emotions, and the quality of thoughts while trading. I have an excellent understanding of a master trader's mindset as my goal. I keep logs on the trades that are according to my strategies and those that are not. I keep separate P&L logs for each strategy or type of trade I make. I track my critical trading behaviors and improvements on a regular basis. Okay. The next one is where you look at the issues that, if changed, would have the biggest impact on your P&L and your trading success. So what you're going to do is you're going to grab the most important 3, let's say, or 4 from the left column and drag them into the right column and then move them up and down in order of priority. And I'll read the list for while you're doing that. Revenge trading, not executing a winning strategy properly, letting losses get away from me, taking profits too quickly, difficulty pulling the trigger, lack of a clear strategy, not knowing how to use my personal strength, lack of confidence, giving my profits back, impulsive trading, and analysis paralysis. So grab the top ones, the most important ones, and then move them up and down in the right column in terms of what would have the biggest impact as you make improvements. Okay, you ready?
Yes.
Okay, so Louise, what did you come up with?
The most difficult was losses,
Yes.
because for me, to cut a long story short, I could have worked on that, but I didn't. I ended up transitioning into helping traders. However, losses were really difficult because I don't like to be wrong.
Oh, you just put your finger on a really important topic, that being right in school, in front of others, in our work groups, that is, we associate that with our identity and our worthiness. And so as traders, when the fact that we're going to lose half or more of our trades, being right and feeling wrong is a referendum on some really core thing. So thank you for bringing that up, Louise. Faina.
Thank you.
Mine is taking profits too quickly.
Taking profits too quickly.
Yeah, because I come from scarcity mentality, so I like to hold on to what I have, in fear of letting it go and being poor, so to speak, again. So, but that upsets the ratio of win to loss, my win to loss ratio, and that kind of snowballs into, other stuff we'll get to.
What you brought up is so important, in that how we were brought up, how we view money, how we view scarcity, abundance, that drives a lot of our trading behavior. So when we wonder why we repeat certain things over and over again, they come from a very deep survival mechanism. And until we can recognize that survival mechanism, and in the process I do with my coaching, is we not only recognize it, we appreciate it for what it's done in the past, we appreciate its goals and its positive intent, and then we work with it to find out how it can do a better job in our lives. Number 10 is our intention and dedication. What you've discovered is going to be a lot of the issues that your clients and others who are watching this are discovering. So you are providing a real service. So I'll let you finish that up. So you both completed it, and Faina, well, let's start looking at the results. So, and the first one, in awareness and openness, your assessment score is?
11.
11. So the way we score these is -25 to +25. A -25 says that we are that our responses indicate that we can make tremendous improvements in this area, which are really going to make a difference. A +25 means that we have a mindset that is already in the trader's master mindset state. A 0 is where most traders are, in the middle. So +11, awareness and openness, that is pretty excellent. So if you look at that report, does it feel correct?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Because I'm working diligently and daily on improving my mindset. So awareness wasn't step one, is understanding what's happening, when it's happening, how it's happening, what that looks like in my body. So but I definitely have not mastered that part yet. So I'm somewhere on the way, but not there yet.
Excellent. Well, I like the way you phrase that, "I am on the way," because that sets your mind up very differently. You say, "Oh, look, I'm not quite there. Oh my God." So I'm on my way. And the truth is, as traders, we're always on our way. That I have professional traders that are handling hundreds of millions of dollars, and when they hit certain levels, they discover new stuff. So we're always on our way. So in the behavior change and assessment, your score is?
-11.
Okay. So when I made a joke about stubbornness, did I hit a nerve?
Yes.
Okay. Tell me about stubbornness.
Much like Louise said, I like to be right, and I like to bend things to my will. And the market, you cannot bend to your will. And I do that to keep myself safe, right? Because my outside circumstances were so unstable that I am hypervigilant and controlling of what I can. And the disparity between completely being unable to control the market because it's not up to me, and sometimes it's just not my day, and sometimes I should just fold. But I decide that I'm going to stay and I'm going to make, because staying and making it work was the way I survive. So instead of folding, I stay and I make it work, which does not work.
Well, what you've pointed out is an important process that we use at Mind Muscles. One is awareness. This is the survival mechanism. Now, what we can do is at that time in your life, we can appreciate that survival mechanism. The outside world was chaos, so I am going to control it. I'm going to focus. I'm going to make it work. I am going to bend my environment to make it safe for me. Does that sound right?
Yes.
Excellent. And that may have been one of the foundational processes that has allowed you to be where you are today, rather than drinking wine out of a bottle under an underpass somewhere.
Success, because I was always measured by how successful I have completed a task, and that made me worthy. So my self-worth is connected to my ability to be the best at everything I do. And when I cannot get the trade right, I hammer it in until I do, or don't, most of the until I think I do.
Great. So may I have a conversation with that survival mechanism part of you? If it had a name, what would it be, that part you just described so wonderfully?
Fury.
Fury. Fury. Faina has given me permission to have a conversation with you, and with the understanding that I believe you are there with positive intent, and you may even had an impact on her life that allows her to be where she is today. With that understanding, may I have a conversation with you, Fury?
Sure.
Okay. So what did you notice about Faina when you came to her that you noticed that she needed you? What was it about going on with her that you came to her to help out?
Protection.
Protection. Against
uncertainty.
Protection against uncertainty. Excellent. And so she survived. Is that right?
That's correct.
Yeah. So we can give you an appreciation. May I give you an appreciation, Fury?
Thank you. I'm quite proud of myself.
Yes, you should be. So you really helped her out. And what you did is you protected her against uncertainty. Is that right?
I made her tough.
You made her tough. Ooh, yeah, I can see that. I wouldn't mess with you personally.
They don't call me Russian Fury for nothing.
Russian Fury, okay. Well, great. So now Fury, now that she's a trader and the markets are nothing but uncertainty. Oh, this is fascinating. The Fury, you came to her to protect her from uncertainty. And what do? You move her into an occupation that's nothing but uncertainty. That's incredible.
Yes, because she perseveres. That is her self-worth. So yeah. I put her where her self-worth will be the most tremendously impacted, should she succeed.
Yes.
Interesting.
Well, so I would like to, if I may, Fury, I'll come back to you in a moment, but just make a comment to the listeners that oftentimes our survival mechanism will repeat or create the environment that it knows it can survive. There's examples of this. For example, women that have been beaten or abused by the father sometimes tend to find men that repeat that process. In my own life, my mother was distant and depressed, and I didn't get a lot of affection. So I looked for relationships in my life that allowed that survival mechanism to repeat itself, because I knew I could I knew I could survive that, but could I survive something different? My survival method said, no, 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 no. We're going to create the experience that we know we can survive. So what you did is you pointed it out so well. So Fury, you put her in a situation of unknowns in a way that your toughness and your resilience, you know that that was the struggle that you've recreated in her life. Does that sound right?
Yes.
Okay.
She never gives up.
She never gives up. So when she's trading,
she never gives up.
She never gives up. So Fury, when she's in a trade, she puts it on according to her system, and the trade goes against her. How do you react to her and react to that?
We go back in.
We're going back in. So we're not going to lose it. We're going to be right. Is that?
Yes.
Okay. How's that worked out?
Sometimes we should move our stop,
Yeah.
just because we know best.
Excellent. So how's that worked out for Faina when you react like that?
Not great. She
Not great.
is very frustrated. She feels very defeated.
Mm-hmm.
She has a number of unkind thoughts about herself, but then she gets to persevere and push through and rise up again.
Rise up again and again and again and again. Excellent.
Yes.
So would you be willing? I mean, you came to Faina when she had not many options, when her life was out of control, and you did the best you could. Can we agree to that?
Yes.
So would you like to continue the process of doing the best for Faina that you can do? Would you like to improve your relationship to Faina so she has better outcomes?
Yes.
Okay.
I would.
So you know her very well. You know her better than I do. So how could you, with your resilience, your persistence, your determination, your toughness, Fury, how would you, if you were supporting her master trader's mindset, how would you behave differently? What new processes could you create for her that would produce better outcomes?
I would let her be wrong and not make that about anything other than that specific trade, and not her failing as a trader and never making it to her goals.
Excellent.
I would allow her to be not so tough.
Right, right. So let's say that you allowed her to do that, and that's how she took off. She didn't have to be so tough. She didn't have to be right. She didn't have to fight everything. Her trading, she knew that she was going to lose half or more of her trades, and that statistically that was going to be just fine. So how would that feel to be left out of the process, if she stepped into a new context where she didn't need you?
I would feel useless.
Yeah.
I would feel abandoned because I was there first.
You were there when she really needed you. You were there when nobody else was there for her. And all of us, she just goes, whoopee, don't need you. Wow. Okay. So what if, and I'm just imagining, what if you could provide that same energy, that same toughness, that same resilience in a way that served her better? Would you be willing to do that?
As long as I get to stay.
As long as you get to stay, because if you leave, you were there that saved her life.
Yes.
Yeah. So
she'll be too exposed. She'll be too vulnerable, and that did not work out for her. So I can't leave her vulnerable like that again.
I'm just absorbing that for a moment. When Faina was young, she was younger, she was exposed, and she was vulnerable.
To things that kids should not be, in ways they should not be.
In a
And
way
if
that
she were not resilient and strong the way she is today, her future would have looked a lot different.
Indeed. Now that she's an adult, she's powerful, she's attractive, she's smart, she's resilient. What is the cost of not being vulnerable now?
Failing.
So explain how not being vulnerable has a cost to it.
She will continue to beat her head against the wall and continue to try to muscle things her way.
Yeah.
Her way, as opposed to flow with things and allow things to come and go freely, and knowing that she's still safe no matter if things stay or go, if people stay or go, she's safe. And so that's not what she's good at.
Ooh, so there's a new skill for her to learn.
Yes.
So would you be willing to be her partner, Fury, with the resilience, with the toughness, and knowing that she can survive almost anything? Would you be her partner in allowing the markets to tell her, to talk to her, and not having to fight them? Would you be willing to experiment with a new behavior for Faina?
Yes.
Okay, and what will change for you? Is that satisfying? What will you need to do differently?
I would need to keep her safe in some other way.
Okay, so keeping her safe is important, and I recognize that role and what you've done for her. So what other ways can you keep her safe? You know, the first thought that comes to mind could be a risk manager or...
Right. Get her out of harm's way and say, today is not in your environment. This is not your strategy. Your strategy was not built on a strong trend day. Close up, go take a day off. You did not fail today. You get an extra day off. And that does not make you lazy. That makes you smart.
Wow. That's really an important message. God, I just got chills up and down my back. So Fury, how does that make you feel as you give her that message?
I want to hold on to her, but I also know that I should let go. So I'm conflicted. I understand the value of me letting go, but I don't have the skill set to do so yet.
Ah, that's a great recognition. So, Fury, I'd like to invite you, with your resilience, your toughness, your determination to succeed, into building a new skill set. And the skill set generally, and you can fill it in and be more accurate here, but the skill set is to give her some boundaries, to watch and make sure she doesn't blow out her account, to be a risk manager, and allow her to, if the market mood does not fit her strategy, to allow her to take the day off. So what I see as protecting her in a whole new way, if we look at it that way, and a new skill set, how does that feel?
I feel useful, like I'm learning something. I'm growing.
Yes, you're learning and growing.
It's important to her.
Yeah, you're still taking care of her, but not as a little girl who needed to put up barriers, but as a powerful woman. Yeah. So before I go, is there anything you want to add to the conversation, to tell me or Louise or anybody listening to this?
It's a work in progress.
Yes.
It's not about it's not about the result. It's about how are we going to get there. And if I focus on how to, the journey, not the destination, she'll be more successful. Because if there's no way it's going to happen overnight, she measures herself against things happening quickly and her achieving and being the best quickly. So I'm going to try to give her the space to do this in a more fluid manner, not expecting this to be different tomorrow, understanding that that's a process, and she will probably stumble.
Yeah. My most successful traders who are trading tens of millions of dollars are in the same exact boat. It's a continuous process, as you point out. So Fury, I so appreciate you. May I give you a detailed appreciation?
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. So you came to her when her world was in chaos. You gave her toughness rather than allowing her to sink into all sorts of situations which could have been really bad. You've provided her, you've put her in an environment that is perhaps one of the toughest environments so that you could be there as her survival mechanism. You recognize that you haven't been effective. You want to be more effective for her. And you're looking at ways to do that in a way that is not judgmental. Does that sound right?
Yes.
Wow. Wow. Thank you, Fury. So I'm going to go back to Faina now and talk to Louise again. And so thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Giving me
Faina.
the platform to get it all out.
Oh, you're very welcome. So, Faina, you heard what Fury said, I assume? And so how was that for you to listen to that?
I feel like there's a good sense of understanding why and what needs to change, but there's still struggle with that last piece of new neural pathways going in a direction that I know it needs to go and I want to go in, but the brain splits and the fight or flight takes over and the monkey brain takes over and hijacks the new Faina who knows what to do. And I think that is the most frustrating part of it, because enough internal work and other work has been done, and yet there are moments that it just takes me.
Yes. Okay. So what you point out, there's all sorts of old patterns, and you point out that those are neural connections that are physical connections in our brain. So now we get to enjoy one little step. So before you start trading, one little step is simply to have a conversation with Fury. What is your role today? What is mine? How do we make this feel better for both of us? That's all. You don't have to change. You don't have to do anything else. There's no shoulds. There's no willpower. There's no discipline. There's no failure. It's just a wonderful conversation with this powerful part of yourself.
Should I have it before I step into my office? Should we have this negotiation prior to stepping into the room and then walking into the room together?
That I like that. Yeah. Ooh, as a team. Ooh, I love that.
Yeah.
And what you can do is if Fury comes back and says, oh my God, you might be wrong. We're going to double up here, or we're going to cancel our stop, or we're going to go back in. And then you can say, hi, Fury. That's the older voice. Yeah, we're still learning together. Thank you for reminding me of the powerful part that saved me when I was a little girl. Thank you for that voice and coming back. And right now, we've agreed when we're trading to create a better role. Would you like to step out of the old habit, step into the new? And Fury will say, no, 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 we're going to. I'm just kidding. So Fury is, yeah, sometimes he might do that.
Sometimes I have to take like a 5-minute walk. Like I
Yeah.
have to literally remove myself from the premises and go outside just to get a handle on you know, that part of the brain.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
Mm.
So what you're going to do is now we've started a new process. So rather than just Fury reacting and then you feeling discouraged and repeating behaviors, we now have a team that's working together. So anytime it's new, just like if you were starting to learn to pole vault, you know, you're going to start at 3 feet or whatever. So be kind to yourself, okay?
Thank
Louise,
you.
Yeah, Louise, as the observer here, what did you notice that you think to your clients is you can generalize or be applicable, or how can you, or what can you say to the people listening that you think would really focus this and be helpful?
One of the things that really stood out for the whole conversation was inner child. The inner child. Even when Faina was talking at times, and I noticed that sometimes her voice and her tonality would change. And it wasn't that she was sounded like a child, honestly, Faina, but it changed. It was almost quite, you could hear the difference between the tonality between the two, you know, between Fury and Faina. So what came up for me was inner child. So if Faina was my client, I think we would go down the route of working on the inner child and healing the inner child. So it's almost going back to that time, and it's not about bringing up traumas or anything. It is about nurturing that inner child and letting her know that she's safe, and to build that connection that works better. You know, to know that Faina is now the adult and she's safe. You know, and it doesn't have to be this. It doesn't have to be this protective behavior. So what I would do, I would actually work through hypnosis with this. And I have worked a lot in the past with clients for the inner child. I've had a lot of inner child work myself, and it's been very, very healing and transformational. So that's what came out, was working with the inner child. And it wouldn't be a 1-session process. It would be a journey.
Yes, certainly. And what you said is so important, because when we have repeated behaviors, trading that no longer serve us, like I read that original quote, if in fact there is a survival mechanism, an inner child that is just searching for security or love or recognition or any of those just core needs of humanity that weren't available at that time, that those then drive repeated behaviors. And until we can become aware of it, accept it, and then develop some agency around it, it's challenging to change that just on a symptomatic or behavioral level. So I appreciate that you point that out, and just really appreciate that you're willing to do that work for your clients.
Thank you, Richard. Yeah, it's very healing working with the inner child. It can be, as I'm sure you know.
Indeed. So I invite anybody listening to take the assessment, and the link will be put somewhere in the comments, and you can take it along with us and take it. And if there is a way that you can then look to contact me or get further support for what you discover in that assessment.
It was very educational, and thank you so much for taking me through it. It's a process, and I truly believe this is the last step between where I am and where I want to be. Like it's that last piece where so much work has been done in self-discovery and systems in place, and it's just literally me against some old version of me. And
can I just stop there? Me against an old version of me. It's the new me incorporating the power of the previous me. So we're always looking for rapport rather than struggle.
So I'm not trying to cancel that out. I'm trying to work with it.
Yes.
Because they'll fight me if I do.
Yeah.
And it's fighting
and it's
me
a powerful contribution. Oh my God, we don't want to lose that.
Yeah. Yes. This was really educational.
I think it's just to add on to that, it's about bringing in a harmonious relationship, isn't it? As opposed to kind of, it's finding that synergy between the both that's going to kind of work. But I think it's whatever feels right.
It's interesting that trading brings up so much stuff about who we are, where we come from, how we got here. Why would myself even engage in this, which is probably the most dangerous environment for me? As you pointed out, I didn't think about the fact that literally the most unstable, dangerous thing I could do for me, I'm in it.
Repeating the behavior.
Repeat, like re-trauma, like almost creating the same trauma on a daily basis because somehow my brain views that as a normal environment.
Oh boy, if I could underline that, highlight it, make it blink so that everybody can really understand that. You have been so wonderful to bring that up today, because I think that is going to be a gift to everyone who's listening.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. And I hope that our listeners and your followers take the test. And I think you can't get to where you want to go if you don't know where you're coming from and you don't know why you do the things you do. And if you don't have, I say, fuzzy ideas produce fuzzy results. And clarity is challenging, and it's really confrontational and sometimes not so pretty. But I don't know how else to get to where you want to go unless you're willing to put in some deep, honest work and then find peace. So
absolutely.
And I think what you just said is just a great way to end, is to find peace, because that's ultimately what we're all want. So well done. Thank you, Louise, for setting this up and organizing it and making it happen. And thank you, Faina, for your wonderful role model for everyone who's listening. And I just so appreciate both of you from the bottom of my heart. It's so great to be with you, and I look forward to doing it again.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
And have a great afternoon. I have a lot of thinking to do, so goodbye.
Thank you very much, Richard. Thank you, Faina, for showing such strength again. And Richard, thank you so much for just your valuable, amazing self. Thank you.
Thank you.